and there's always a, oh yeah, but he could do it, but I can do it because of this. Oh, he got lucky because of this. He got lucky because of that. People think that I just walked into boxing and all of a sudden, like, oh, train Tyson Fury, like, you'll do over there. Do you know what I mean? I've pushed my body to the absolute limits. Absolute limits. I know what it feels like, what these boys are going through. That's why I can see. That's part of the reason why I can read a fight. That's why I can see things happening before they happen. I can see how they feel. Recently, I had to say to a fighter about pulling them out of a fight because I could see where they was at in their body way before it even happened. I could see and you get that through experience, but people associate experience with age. I started working with Tyson Fury at 24 years old, but people have this idea that it was a case of I ordered a few pads. Yeah, 5 minutes on there, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? But that is the way people think. But you don't work with these guys without having that something. And I've been able to do these things not because I've just got lucky, because I've worked my fucking arse off, like non-stop. I've pushed my body to its limits. Not now, obviously, but I have done. Do you know what I mean?
What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So we just heard there from your mans, Ben Down Bad Davidson, aka Ben Shilvertson. This was a proper whopper of an interview as well. My man's ranting about how he's deserved to be the best trainer of the year. Oh, I've been done wrong. Josh Taylor was snubbed for the BBC Sports Personality of the Year, and I was supposed to get Trainer of the Year. Oh, I want to win Trainer of the Year more than anyone. Listen, Ben, you ain't never trained no one. That's a fact. I'm sorry, you ain't. Who are you trained? Let's be real now. Let's talk turkey here. You've taken, you snatched, you robbed Tyson Fury from Peter Fury. Fact. Yeah. You then robbed Josh Taylor from Shane McGuigan. You then robbed, or half robbed, Devin Haney from whoever he was working with. You're known, yeah, as the MTK robber. You just sit back in the cut, waiting to pounce on someone. Whenever fighters are having some sort of relationship trauma with their trainer, you best believe Ben Davison just sits back in that cut, doesn't he? Waiting to pounce like a big praying mantis. Yeah, the praying the praying Benvidson. Yeah, the praying Benvidson sits back in that cut, waiting. Ooh, Tyson Fury, are you falling out with your uncle? Yeah, that's looking like a situation I can inject myself into. Ooh, what's that, Josh Taylor? Have you know what I mean? Has Cyclone and McGuigan's not paid your bills this month? Pounce. You know what I'm saying? This guy, that's what you're known as, Ben Shilvertson. You're known as boxing's praying mantis. That's it. I don't know what, like, for example, great trainers or great people in general, they usually accept voluntary accolades from their peers or from people who are involved in the industry. Ben Davidson's the only guy I've ever heard of who rates himself so highly, but then no one talks about him. No one in the industry have I ever heard talk about how great and prominent and high skill is Ben Shilvertson. I've just never heard it, I'm afraid. Let's call a spade here. The fans think you're a joke. But fair enough, what do the fans know? The fighters, to be fair, I give Ben some credit, because he does end up, God knows how, but he does end up catching all these fighters. I don't know how he does it, truth be known. So that, I guess in his mind, he's thinking, well, I've managed to collect all these top level fighters, I must be doing something right. I'm not sure what it is. It's like he's a siren. Never mind praying mantis. He might be a siren. You know them ones where, from the 1500s, them mermaid sirens who would, who would sing the sailors to sleep and then capsize their boat. One of them ones. That's what it's like. Ben lures them in. Lures them right away in as well. And then the worst thing is for me. So not only does this man beg and rant about accolades he's owed, he then talks about how he's magical and how he knows all the holes to fix. Oh, I'm super duper dynamic. I can fix all the holes. When in reality, again, fixing holes. You nearly got Tyson Fury knocked out. How many holes did you fix in that situation? Like, we now know the possibility, or we now know the capability of Tyson Fury. Yeah? When Tyson Fury was with you, Mr. Hole Fixer, Mr. Visionary Magician, boxing magician trainer, or self-awarded magical boxing trainer, Ben Shilivardson, the praying mantis. When he's with you, he has to peel himself off the canvas twice. He leaves you, after having been with you for about 3 years as well, to add insult to injury. He then spends 6 weeks with another trainer who doesn't talk about how great he is or how magical he is. So wait there, 6 weeks with a non-self-described magical trainer, and Tyson Fury absolutely schools Deontay Wilder. But 3 years with you, and he's on his back twice, having to scratch himself off the canvas. And really, it was Freddie Roach who saved that night. Freddie Roach begged Tyson Fury to walk forward, and that was his best round. But wait there, with Mr. Magician, and by the way, you was shitting your pants as well, may I add, in the corner. Freddie Roach exposed the fact you shit yourself. You was on the corner about to throw the towel in as well. Nervous, jitty looking ass. Yeah, Ben Davison's jitty. He was 100% jitty in the corner. About to throw the towel in, because your butt was twitching. You was nervous. Freddie Roach told you to calm down, kid. And I wouldn't mind, but obviously we all have to learn things. But it's the fact that he talks about how he needs to be, he should be the one who's trainer of the year and trainer of the decade, and all of his fighters are the best fighter. Oh, I'm a magician, I can see things people can't see. Why didn't you see that Tyson Fury had all this capability over Wilder? Why were you shitting your pants in the corner, Mr. Magician, Mr. Visionary? Why didn't you envision that? Yeah? Why didn't you envision Tyson Fury wiping the floor with Deontay Wilder? Honestly, and these interviewers, there has to be something said about these funny style cats as well. They all just sit there saying, yeah, Ben, you are right. None of your fighters have lost, Ben. No, what you mean to say is, none of the fighters his praying mantis have lost after having been trained for 20 years already. You know what I'm saying? All these fighters he's got have been finished articles. That's as simple as that. And even then, he shows you with Tyson Fury, and to be honest, not just Tyson Fury, Josh Taylor for me is the same. When Josh Taylor was with Shane McGuigan, he was the business. Now, he can't get a stoppage to save his life. Yeah? Now, his fights are boring, because he switches off for the last half. In that Ramirez fight, Josh Taylor switched off, and you even said it yourself. Well, why not? We were winning. We was up on the cards. The whole spirit of boxing. I mean, look at people like Shane McGuigan, people like the Kronk dude, what's his name? Sugar Hill. They say they appreciate the fans, they appreciate the spirit of the sport. And the spirit of the sport is knockouts. Ben Shilivardson, Mr. So-called magician, who can't train his fighters to get a stoppage to save his life. I'm sorry, but for me, a magician, yeah, is someone who can train their fighters, no matter which fighter it is, to get a stoppage. And that's what Shane McGuigan's proven. He can take a whole bunch of fighters and train them to get stoppages. Look at Lawrence Okolie. Couldn't stop no one. Or as boring as you like. Just clinging on to everyone. Now, he got the one bang. Look at Sugar Hill. Takes Mr. Pillarfist, Tyson Fury, and wipes the floor with Wilder. Something no fighter's been able to do yet. And yeah, Wilder's resume is weak, but still. He's been in there with a bunch of 250-pound men. None of them have done squat with him. Until Fury did twice. And you want to talk about magician? I'm sorry. If anyone's a magician, it's Sugar Hill. For taking Pillarfist. If anyone's a magician, it's taking Hug. It's taking Mr. Hugger. Lawrence O'Hugger. Yeah? If anyone's a magician, it's what Shane McGuigan has done with Lawrence O'Hugger. Yeah? He took Lawrence O'Hugger and turned him into a one-banger. Lawrence O'Hugger was as boring as you like. Sorry, Lawrence O'Huggy. Yeah? Lawrence O'Huggy. Yeah? Listen, let's call a spade here. Shane McGuigan took Lawrence O'Huggy. He took Lawrence O'Huggy. Yeah? He loved to hug. He took Lawrence O'Huggy and turned him into the one bang. That there is what you call accolade. That there is what you call magician. Not you, Mr. Pillarfist. You made Pillarfist even worse. Not being funny. He was actually worse under you than he was Peter Fury. And that, by the way, that's well known as well. Because when Fury was with Peter Fury, guess what? He was much sharper, much slicker. When people talk about Tyson Fury's best outboxing performance, they talk about Vlad versus Fury. They don't talk about Fury versus Wilder. Obviously, why? Because he got knocked out pretty much. About how I'm a magician, I can see things people can't, and I can feel... You're a joker, Ben. Seriously, you're a joke of a trainer. And I'm not sure what you've got going on behind closed doors. I'm not sure I'm not sure who you're tugging off. Because most likely that's what it normally comes down to. Life normally comes down to sex and money. So to be fair, it could be both. You probably are tugging someone off and paying someone else. Who knows? Yeah? But that's the facts. Don't know how you managed to get all these great fighters. But the truth is, your results are wow. But to be fair, the one thing I will give Ben Davison credit for is the fact that he does give people like me hope. In as much as Ben Davison's proven that you can have no clue about anything and still work with the top fighters. And that's why it makes me laugh when people hear me say things like, yeah, AJ, reach out to me. I'm not even joking. And again, it's people like Ben Davison that made me feel comfortable making these kind of comments. It's people like Ben Davison who have inspired me to believe, you know what, if Ben Davison can do it, I know I ain't going to be worse than him. You know what I'm saying? If Ben Davison can work with top fighters, why can't I? At least what I'm saying makes sense. At least my fighters won't shit their pants every time they get in there. Do you know what I'm saying? So, listen. Ben Davison, I'll give you credit. You've been able to make lemonade out of lemons, that's for sure. You've squeezed all the lemon out of the lemons. So I do give credit for that. Because God knows how you flip this into a career. You are useless as a trainer. And that's what the results say, by the way. Nothing to do with biases. I'm the first person to give credit. For example, Shane McGuigan. I'd love to come on here and tell you Ben Davison's the business. And I would. Honestly, if you were the business, I'd tell people you're the business. Same I've got nothing against you personally. But the fact that you've got a trainer who's extremely limited. But that's, to be fair, that's normally how it goes. It normally is the limited ones who think they're really super duper good. People like Shane McGuigan, who actually have got the proof in the pudding, are actually very humble. Because normally in intelligence, you appreciate the things you don't know. But in doing so, that's what drives your demand to learn. The fact you know you don't know much. But that principle, that humbleness, drives you actually to learn more. These arrogant dons, they think they know it all, and therefore they don't do no learning. And therefore, these magical dons who think they're magical, well, of course, think about it. If you think you're magical, why would you need to learn for? And that's where Ben Davison finds himself at. He ain't got a clue what he's talking about. But because he thinks he's magical, he thinks he knows it all. Even though his fighters, empirically, get more useless with him. That's just the facts, people. Yeah? He is an accident waiting to happen. If you want your career to go downhill quick, bend your man. And again, I normally wouldn't say nothing. But the fact that he's yammering on and ranting about how good he is, it's unbelievable stuff, people. It really is. It'd be one thing if he was average. He is below average, genuinely. He spends more time... I remember, before the Fury fight, he spent more time doing his hair in the mirror. Oh, I got my hair slicked back. I got my Pantene Pro-Vene shampoo and conditioner. Yeah, got my Pantene Pro-Vene shampoo and condition. Yeah, you got a Mr. Tresemme. Listen, Ben, you got a better chance working for Tresemme. Become a hairdresser. That's what you should be doing, Mr. Tresemme. How about that? About a boxing trainer. You whopper, Ben. Seriously, you're a big whopper. But again, I appreciate you, because you have inspired me. You've inspired me to know I'm good enough to train Mr. Anthony Joshua Johnston. I'm good enough to train any one of these top boxers if you can do it. So I do appreciate you for that. You man know me. I give credit where credit's due. And he has been a big inspiration for me. Because and to be honest, he should be an inspiration for you all. If Ben Davison can get to the top of a sport, then I might just take up cricket and become the England cricket captain, truth be known. That's how inspired Ben Davison has me. Really, truly, yeah. Anything you want to do, you can do. If Ben's become a top boxing trainer, I'm sorry, but it's wow.